Hello good people of YouTube and welcome to my hobby channel. In this video I will be taking a quick look at Flat Caps and Truncheons, doing an unboxing, looking at the metal miniatures that you get in the starter set, and I'll be talking through a few kit bashing and modelling ideas, whilst also doing a scale comparison with miniatures from other manufacturers. Now recently I acquired this Flat Caps and Truncheons box set, which I believe is a starter game. And it's brought to us by Great Escape Games, the same people that do Dead Man's Hand. And if you've seen some of my other videos on this channel, you will know that that is one of the games that I'm currently building gunfighters for. I'm building terrain for that, and I'm hoping to have a game of Dead Man's Hand very soon. This piqued my interest because it's the Chicago Way, which I understand is the kind of 1930s gangster equivalent of Dead Man's Hand. So it's the same basic game mechanics set in a different era. And Flat Caps and Truncheons is a Peaky Blinder expansion on this. Now, this box, as far as I'm aware, contains metal miniatures, but it wouldn't take too much, I'm thinking, to give one or two of the plastic gunfighter models a flat cap or a trench coat or a weapon swap, and just to build in a bit of variety in a scenario game like this. Just before we start, if anyone's wondering, yes, I have seen Peaky Blinders. I watched most of those when they were on terrestrial TV. I think I caught up with a few on Netflix, but I was also a student in Birmingham and the West Midlands. I lived there for quite a while. I have family that hail from that neck of the woods as well. So it's a scenario and a location that I'm quite familiar with, and that was another reason why I was interested. So in this video I am going to do an unboxing. I'm having to hold the box at an awkward angle to avoid the glare from the lights. You'll also notice that I'm not at my hobby desk. Again, it's a big box, and the setup I've got there doesn't really allow me to do an unboxing with anything larger than a regular box of plastics. So here we have the Flat Caps and Truncheons box art, the back of it. There's a Chicago Way rulebook in there, and here we've got a Peaky Blinders gang and some police. Okay, so I've got a scalpel blade here, so I'm just going to delicately cut the sellotape. I haven't looked inside, so it's a first for me. Here we go. Ooh, there's a tray. That's always a good sign. So here we have an interesting handful of packing peanuts. Not enough to stop things sliding around, but enough for me to put to one side and use for packing some of the miniatures that I will be selling and getting rid of in the near future. Right. D20, one black, one white, and D10, one black, one white. A couple of bubble wrap bags, which I'll look at in a minute because that's the figures. Chicago Way bundle of playing cards, I would imagine, and there's some extra bits here. So I've got Great Escape Games, Chicago Way bookmark. I do love that. These are probably some special cards. Right, what we got here? Yeah, so these look like the red police helmet and a black flat cap. As I said, I've not played the game. I'm not reviewing the rules in this. I'm just going through what you get in the box and looking at the models, because at some point I will be painting those up and then trying to play a game. But playing cards. Now this is interesting because this is Molly. And she was one of the figures on the back of the box. I would imagine the rules for everyone else are in there, but that's a card for Molly. So 5, 10, 15 bases, which would cover us for 7 miniatures in each gang or crew or whatever. The Chicago Way rules, which I will flick through in a minute. A Chicago Way counter card. So again, very similar to what you get with Dead Man's Hand. And the Birmingham News, which will probably be specific to the Peaky Blinders. So done up as a newspaper with the Peaky Blinders gang there, the police coppers on the front there. So yeah, that's the Peaky Blinders stuff. Yeah, it's just a little inlay. Everyone can be gotten to. Everyone can be gotten to. Right, cool. I don't know if that's actually a poster that opens out. Yes, it does. Ooh. Right, so there's a map, I guess, of Chicago, which is cool. So if I do ever end up getting involved in the Chicago scenarios, that's great. Right, I'll just remove this from the cellophane and again have a quick flick through. I'm not going to do a review of the rules at this point. I just want to show you the quality of what you get here. Lots of lovely illustrations. So cards, playing the game, shooting, interruptions, vehicles. You see, loads of fun to be had with this. And then there's the police, obviously the Chicago police, gangsters, different scenarios. So yeah, very much the kind of high quality, lovely presentation that you'd expect from Great Escape games. Looks like there's more counters there. So that's the rules. As I said, I've not played it, so I'm not reviewing it, but you get the rules book and then the Peaky Blinders and the Coppers sheet there, template, cards, rules for Molly, or a card for Molly, bookmark, bases, dice. And now we look at the figures. And here are the two jiffy bags stuck together. Let's have a look. This one, just cut that. Right, so these look like the Peaky Blinders, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's no Molly in there, unless she's been packed with the police, but no. 7 chaps. And then, yeah, we've got what looks like an inspector, a couple of police with rifles. There she is, she's in with the police, which is a relief. So that's Molly. And another police with a rifle and another police with a truncheon there. Right, we'll start with Molly, the figure that I almost thought I didn't have because she was in with the police. I would like to paint Molly up here faithfully as she appeared in the series. Now, I guess, I don't know who's who here, but obviously I've got the name Shelby ringing in my ears. So I will have a look through the rule book, the supplement, to see who is who, but these are really nice 28mm miniatures, beautifully sculpted and just with heaps of character. I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into these. And as I said, particularly if we look at this one here, oh, one more there, I'll just bring him up. I think you can see the detail on the flat caps there, and this guy with a bowler hat. One of the things I'm interested in doing is taking some of the Dead Man's Hand gunfighters and anglicising them and making them look more like Peaky Blinders. Tiny bit of flash there under the arm that needs trimming, but that is about the extent of it. These are really clean castings for metal. And so, yeah, the little bits, tiny bits of flash that need cleaning up there won't be a problem at all. You can cut those out very quickly with a scalpel blade. So yeah, that is the Peaky Blinders gang there. And as I said, I will be looking at kitbashing and converting some of the plastics into 1920s, 1930s citizens of Birmingham. Now if I can just grab some of the police officers, what we've got there, sergeant or something, 3 stripes on his arm, pistol in his hand. There's one with a truncheon there. Now I have some others, miniatures, which I'll grab in a minute if I can find them. They are Ainsty castings, and I don't know if the game was aggro. It was something to do with football, hooligans and police. So I'm going to have a look through my collection. But these are the police that you get with the Flat Caps and Truncheons, and that's obviously some kind of inspector, detective, gaffer, whatever. And I don't know if that's a pipe he's got in his hand. I think it is. So that's really cool. Yeah, I'm quite excited now to get stuck in with these. And then we've got 2 more police with rifles, which actually is quite unusual. I have to say, living in this country, that one thing our police force doesn't do openly or readily is carry guns. So I'm surprised there weren't more boys in blue with truncheons, riot shields, anything like that. I don't know when the riot shield came in. But yeah, the other thing I'm interested in doing, now that I've got examples of these miniatures and I can see how they've treated the police helmets and stuff, is having a go myself at sculpting some helmets. I am wondering if anyone out there has got any plastics with pith helmets, whether that would make for an easy conversion. Might be something you want to look at doing. Of course, there's no reason why you can't actually have some military personnel involved as well. So interwar years. So I'm just wondering what the possibilities are now that I've picked up this starter set. And yes, I'm looking at converting plastics, but I'm also very interested in perhaps making some mounted police and some mounted Peaky Blinders or gang members. I've got some spare horses from Dead Man's Hand, so my mind is already thinking about the kitbashing possibilities here. So I'm just going to pause the video now and see if I can pick up these Ainsty casting models that I know I've got somewhere. Okay, so that took longer than expected, but what I've also found is a blister here from Wargames Foundry. These are Darkest Africa European Travellers. I'm going to crack this blister open because I'm interested in 2 of the miniatures inside here. Now, I had originally got hold of these to paint them black for my Call of Cthulhu, where the idea was your player characters are fully painted, but everyone else in the game, or every other miniature in the game, is just black. And that was to kind of keep the mystique, so you wouldn't end up in a situation where somebody recognises the paint job on a miniature and goes, oh yeah, that's a so-and-so demon, and ruins the game. So I didn't actually get around to painting these. I think that's a policeman there. I don't know, actually. He looks more military, that one, doesn't he? But there's possibly some conversion potential there for Flat Caps and Truncheons, but I also want to do a scale comparison. So if I grab a police officer from Great Escape Games, a copper, you can see there the scale is good with the Foundry miniatures. So I have a lot of Darkest Africa stuff and street violence, which could possibly be incorporated into a Peaky Blinders or Chicago Way style game. But yeah, I'm just beginning to think that I might be able to convert some of these to use in my Flat Caps and Truncheons games. Let's just bring up one of the Shelby, was it, gang, the Peaky Blinders. Again, for a scale comparison, you can see they're just spot on. So, yeah, really nice. And my head is buzzing with ideas now. The other thing I'm looking at is old toys here. This is a Daimler from Corgi Classics. Scale might be out slightly, but I did compare it with the plastic driver that was in there, and the difference wasn't too extreme. But this is something that I'll be looking at in the future. Just any kind of model cars that I can get that would fit, that can be repainted and repurposed for a Peaky Blinders or even a Dead Man's Hand skirmish game. So we've got those as well. And finally, I hope these are dry because I've just given them a zenithal prime. I've got two different sculpts here of British bobbies, two of each. And these were originally painted black, as I said, for Call of Cthulhu. I didn't manage to feature them in my sci-fi painting book, so these were waiting for another time, and this might be it. Let's just bring the Great Escape Games copper there with his rifle, and I think these Ainsty castings police were from the Aggro game, which was a sort of a football hooligan or riot based game. But yeah, I think they're quite a nice match scale wise, so there's a possibility that I can use these guys to bolster the ranks of the police, or even have more than one law enforcement gang on the tabletop. So yeah. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. As always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.